Welcome everybody to this mindful movement session, and thank you again for joining me this week for those who are returning, and welcome to anybody that is new today, whether you're watching this live with me or if you're watching the recording as well. For this session and any session that you do with myself, remember this is all to be done with your ability level. So if there's any adjustments you need to make, then feel free to do so. But I will try my best to accommodate as many needs as possible through this session by giving you some adaptations. But if there's anything extra that you need to adapt for yourself, feel free to do that. And along those lines, also feel free to have any extra rest breaks or stop altogether or do whatever you need to make sure this session is safe and also doable for yourself. I am just here to guide you to the best of my ability, so if you need to take those adjustments, that is absolutely fine. We're all here for the same objective, which is to get the most out of this hour together with some mindful movement, and we shall move into that now. So get yourself in a nice comfortable position, however that looks for yourself, and we'll start with some nice deep breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we just start to relax down there. Nice, deep, slow breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And sometime over the next couple of breaths, if you haven't already, let's close down our eyes and bring that focus inwards. So nice deep breath still. Bring the focus in. Just noticing how when you breathe in, how it affects how your lungs are, inflates them, almost lifts the chest up, opens up your shoulders slightly. And as you breathe out, it just relaxes back down again. You almost come into a slightly hunched position as you breathe out. And just notice that cycle between the two, between the breathing in and the breathing out, how it's impacting you, how it's moving your body. And noticing that wave of relaxation that comes over you, especially when you breathe out, it just relaxes you down into this position. Good. Now we're in that much more relaxed state. Keep the eyes closed. Keep the breathing going. But I want you to thank yourself for being here today. As we always say with these sessions, sometimes the hardest part is just turning up in the first place. But you've done that, so thank yourself for doing that. But also let's remind ourselves that we are here now, and over this next hour together we will do our best to stay focused and do things to the best of our ability through the movements, the breathing, whatever it is we've got coming up over this hour together. We stay as focused as we possibly can on it. We also remind ourselves as well, as we are going through this session, our mind does like to wander. We just accept that that's part of being human, the mind wanders, and we just make sure we bring it back in line, we notice it, we bring it back in line, and then bring it back to the focus on the task at hand, whatever it is we may be doing at that point. Keep that breathing going, and if you're not already, let's sit up nice and tall. Keep the eyes closed still, but as you breathe in now, I want you to almost imagine you're being pulled up through the ceiling. Almost imagine feeling your spine being elongated through as it's being pulled up. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, you just relax that down again, almost like you're a bit of a rag doll coming down. And as you breathe in, you pull it back up, pull that spine nice and straight. And then as you breathe out, you relax down again. Breathing in, sitting up nice and straight. Breathing out, relaxing down. When you're ready to, keep the breathing going, but start to open up your eyes. And as you breathe in now, we're going to squeeze the shoulders up. And as we breathe out, we're just going to relax them back down. Breathe in. Really squeeze those shoulders as you come up, squeezing the muscles, and as you breathe out, relax it down. And do this in your own timing, however long it takes you to Breathe in, that's the shrugging up time, and however long it takes you to breathe out, that's the relaxed part down again. Just go back and forth between the two there. Nice. Big squeeze as you bring them up, and a big relax off as you bring it down. Link that breathing. Breathe in, squeeze up. Breathe out, relax down. Nice work, everybody. Instead of coming up and down with it now, we're going to bring those shoulder blades back behind us. So squeeze them together as you breathe in. As you breathe out, push them forwards. Breathe in, squeeze back. Breathe out, push forwards. And just keep going back and forth between the two here. Nice controlled movements. Excellent work. And then let's go into some shoulder rotations now. So just bring them round. Nice gentle circles. Around we go here. So nice, easy movements around with those shoulders. They don't have to be big range of motion, but just do something that gets them moving, gets them mobilized. And let's change direction and go the opposite way now. And again, just moving them around as best we can. Yeah, let's start to move them a little bit more. So to do this, we bring the hands up onto around about the shoulders. They don't have to be locked in place, but we're going to guide those elbows around in a circle. You've got a couple of options here. If you're able to do both arms together, then do that to the best of your ability. If you need to do smaller circles, that's fine. However, if it's easier for you, you might want to do it alternating arms. Or you may want to do it single arm. You can do one side for a couple of them and then swap over, if that's a little bit easier for balance. As long as we're just getting good circles round with those elbows, hands sort of roughly on the shoulders. Again, they don't need to be locked in place. Just nice big. See if you can get them a little bit bigger with those circles. Nice work. Let's change direction and go the opposite way. Again, we can do this double arm, alternating if you prefer that, or single arm if you need to. Again, as long as we're getting good size circles to the best of your ability, even if it means that they're small ones. If that's the best that you could do, then that's the best that you can do. Nice. Well, let's open up a little bit more by doing the big circle around with the arm and the arm nice and straight. We're just mobilizing these shoulder joints, getting them moving, getting them warmed up, mobilizing them nicely. With that same arm, let's change direction and go the opposite way. And let's change over to the other side, get that one moving around as well. change direction. And doing the best you can with these circles as well. If they're smaller, that is fine. If that's what you can do here, that's good. Let's go around in a circle with these shoulders again. Change direction. And good work. Okay, we're going to bring those hands roughly up to around shoulder height. We're going to press one hand forwards and bring it back in. Then we push the other hand forwards and bring it back in. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. It's just nice. Sitting up straight. One hand going forwards. Brings it back in. Swapping it over. Linking the breath with the movement. So however long it takes you to breathe out, you push out. However long it takes to breathe in, pull it in. Swapping over to the other side. Nice, slow, relaxing breathing. And almost try and make this one fluid movement here. So rather than going out and then coming in, it goes a nice fluid movement between the two. Nice work. Keep that flowing there. We're going to add a little bit of extension in now. So as you reach forwards, you can use the other arm to support if you need to, but lean into it, bring that head down in line, and then bring it back. We're going to swap over to the other side. So reaching forwards, leaning into it, and then bring it back in line. If you're able to, you can do this without the arm assisting. So you can come forwards and then bringing it up. But if you need that extra support to push yourself back up afterwards, you can do so. Again, breathe out as you push out. Breathe in. As you bring it in, swapping back and forth. Good movement here on this. Nice work, everybody. Then we're going to take it a little bit further now again. So when you reach forwards, instead of coming straight back, we're going to come up and over the top and down behind us. And then we swap to the other side, reaching forwards, then coming up and over the top and down behind. And just keep switching back and forth. Nice work. Reaching forwards, up and over. Good work. Let's do a few more here. Nice work. Okay, we are going to bring it back into the middle. We're going to do a similar one, but instead of going forwards, we are going to go out to one side and then bring it back in. Out to the other side and back in. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. Let's start to extend that a little bit more. So if you need to, you can hold on with the opposite hand, but reach over, bring the head down in line with it a little bit, and bring it back in. You don't have to go all the way on this, but just get to where you can by reaching out to the side, bringing it back in. Good work, everybody. Just nice big extension out. Breathe out as you reach out. Breathe in as you pull it in. Back and forth, one side and the other. Nice fluid movements. Looking good, everybody that I can see on screen. And I'm sure that everybody I can't see on screen is doing it just as well. Good, let's reach out to the side now. Instead of coming straight back, we can come up and over the top, if we're able to, and down to the side. So you reach out, lean over still, and then bring it back by coming up and over the top, and down and across. If you can't bring it all the way up and over, then you just bring it up as best you can, however that looks for you. There's no right or wrong way specifically, as long as it's not causing ourselves any pain or discomfort as we're doing this. So don't worry if it doesn't look exactly how I'm doing it. As long as you're getting most of the way there. It's all about mobilizing those shoulders and trying to relax, breathe and move all together in unison. Let's bring those arms back down. Let's get some shoulder rotations again. Change direction. Nice work. Let's bring hands down by our side. As we breathe in now, we're going to raise those hands up. As you breathe out, we're going to relax it down. Good. This one's a little bit more relaxing, less arm movements, but let's focus deeply on that breathing, coming in through the nose, out through the mouth, moving through it here. It's a simple movement, but it goes a long way into helping us to relax our nervous system, link our breathing with movement. And just the relaxation part of this does absolute wonders in terms of helping us to relax. The more times we can de-stress, decouple, and just help ourselves just relax through the day, that helps us overall with a lot of different things, with both our physical and our mental health. Just the ability to learn how to relax. Now as you breathe in, we bring that up, but as you breathe out, we're going to push forwards and down. So breathing in, breathing out. Don't worry if you can't bring the arms all the way forwards, especially if you fall forwards as you're doing it, but just do the best you can here. Bring those hands forwards and down. With these type of things, the intention is much more important than the actual results of the movement. So breathing and moving in unison is what we want. The actual physical range of motion is a lot less important. So just move through the best you can. Good. This time we're going to bring it up, and then we'll come to the side and down. Breathing in, bringing it up. Breathing out, pushing out and down. Good. This time we're going to breathe in, bringing it up, and as we breathe out, we're going to push up, out, and around. So breathe in up to the chest height, breathe out, and around. Doing that again to the best of your ability. So if you can't raise the arms all the way above your head, we can just come to wherever you can get to. Always try and do the best you can on this, but do also listen to the limits of your body in terms of how far you can reach. Also, it could be that you can't come quite up high there, but you can reach right the way out to the side as you do that. So if that's the case, then just do the best you can in parts of the movement as well. This guy's looking quite nice now. Yeah, on this next one, what we're going to do is take one arm, we're going to reach it across our body, and then bring it around and into the middle. So push out and across, feel a bit of a stretch as you do so, and then round the best you can. As you reach out, try and push that shoulder forwards in the joint so you get a bit of a stretch across the front here. And then as you come out and around, try and trace those hands as far round as you can, almost trying to get a stretch as you do so. So it's just trying to create the biggest sort of semicircle that you can here. That ends up being kind of a bit more of a, almost a bit like a golden ratio kind of thing as you bring that hand in and then around. Good. Good work. Let's do a little bit of stretching now. So we do a little bit more movement in those shoulders than we normally would do before we do the stretching, but that is not a problem here. So our shoulders feel nice and loose now, so we're going to stretch them a little bit in various ways. We're going to reach over the best we can for the first one, hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then reaching over to the other side. Do your own timing of this. Say between 3 and 5 is ideal, but if you want to go a little bit longer, that's fine. And if you can't bring your arm all the way up and over like this one, then what we can do instead is come across the front more, if that's more what you're able to do. But just doing the best we can here. Good range of motion. Nice. Well, let's start to stretch out the chest and the upper back a little bit now. Do this, we open up the chest with both hands, and then we're going to reach one arm forwards the best we can. Make sure that shoulder comes forwards in that joint there as you reach forwards. Then we bring both hands back behind us, and then reach the other one forwards. I'm going to come to the side on this one as well to show you from there, especially for the chest part of this. So to open this chest up, we really want to bring those hands back the best we can. Try not to tip backwards as you do so. So bring the elbows and the wrist back, and then to reach forwards, we really reach that arm forwards in that shoulder joint. Then we bring it back, and we go back and forth between the two. Nice and controlled. Good work. Okay, we're going to ease it off there a little bit. Let's do some shoulder rotations. One way and the other, and then we're going to do a little bit of rotator cuff stretching. So to do this, we are going to do it in 2 slightly different ways. So the first one here, we're going to bring the hands onto the side of us here, whether you're holding the wheels or the chair or your hips. We push the elbows forwards, and you should feel a stretch deep there within the shoulder joint. And then we bring the elbows back behind us, squeezing them, and you might get a little bit of stretch across the front here. And just go back and forth between the two. You'll probably feel more as you push the elbows forwards than back. Let's do the best we can here. Good work, everybody. Nice stretching. Excellent. Okay, we'll move on to our next one with the rotator cuffs here. You've got 2 options: elbows tucked in and bring it out to the side and in. However, if you're able to, I recommend doing the second option, which is keeping the elbows up high and then rotating from here. Essentially the same exercise, we get a little bit more range of motion on this one, just because of our body not getting in the way. Good, let's ease out of that. Let's do some shoulder rotations again. Then you can give it a wiggle, free flow with that, just whatever feels good. And relax it off there. Let's have a hydration break and we'll come back and do our spinal movement on the next one. As always, I recommend bringing hydration to these sessions. Although we're not being that physically exertive, we still do need hydration. It keeps us supple and moving easier. There's a lot more benefits than just hydrating and stopping ourselves from having a dry mouth. There's a lot of benefits that come with keeping that hydration levels up, even when we're not doing hard exercise. Good, okay, so we're going to go into our neck and spinal mobility next. To start with, let's just do some nice deep breathing. We're going to reset ourselves a bit after that hydration break. So just nice deep breath going in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just relax down there where you are. And when you're ready to, let's go into our neck mobility, starting with some flexion looking down and some extension looking up, and go between looking down and looking up. Nice and controlled, gentle movements. Nothing too crazy here. Good, well, let's go into some rotation, looking side to side. We're keeping it nice and basic today with the movements. Second one side and the other, nice and gentle. Back and forth between the two. Yeah, and then on this one we're going to bring one ear to one shoulder and one ear to the other shoulder. And we do it slightly differently today than what we usually do, and I'll explain some of my reasoning as we get into it. So just go one ear to one shoulder, one ear to the other shoulder, and back and forth between the two. Good work. Okay, so we're going to go back to the beginning again, and we're going to go through our normal routine. And the reason why, so we're going to flexion extension, we'll just do this for a little bit here, is because we've been advancing these neck mobility movements to include some stuff later on, or some of the other movements together. So I just wanted to go through it one time, just nice and quickly, just to sort of mobilize it all off, get it moving, and then we can come back around again and go into it a little bit deeper. So the next time you find yourself looking down, let's hold it there. Bring the chin in and just hold it in position. And this is what I mean by bringing some of the other movements in here. We can keep the chin locked in place and we just rock our head from side to side here. We've been starting just to engage those muscles in some of that lateral flexion with the regular flexion here. Good, well, let's ease out of that. We'll do a couple more looking up and downs. And the next time we find ourselves looking up, what we're going to do, we're going to start by looking forwards. We're going to place our hand on our sternum, just about there, almost like locking the skin in place. Imagine that there. And then we're going to keep the mouth closed and look up from there. Just to hold that stretch. So by looking forwards and holding the sternum and then looking up, we're locking that into place, feeling that stretch through the front of our neck. If you don't quite feel it, you can have a play around and see how it works. You should find a deep, intense stretch through the front of the neck there. And then again from here we can move side to side in this stretch position. Feeling it slightly more in different places. And this is what I meant. We're in an extended position here, but we are doing a little bit of lateral flexion side to side. So it's good to warm up those muscles that are responsible for that before we go into it. Good, let's ease out of that. Do some looking up and downs. And let's go into some rotation. So we look left, we look right, we go back and forth between the two. Nice, easy, gentle movements again. Next time we find ourselves looking to the left, let's hold that position there. So that's option number one. Option number two, to get a bit more of a deep stretch, start by looking forwards. We take our left hand and place it on top of our right collarbone, and then we do the same as what we did with the previous one, but we rotate around to the side. And again, so left hand on the right collarbone, look around to the left, and you'll feel a stretch from that collarbone up to the jaw. You can keep your mouth closed for an extra bit of a stretch there. And then there, if you want to take it further again, we can just nod up and down in that extended position. And this time we're bringing some flexion and extension into that rotated movement, combining some of them together for more intense stretches. Good, well, let's ease out of that. We'll do a couple of lefts and rights again. And this time we're going to go to the right. So start looking forwards, right hand on top of the left collarbone, almost locking it in place there, and looking around to the right. And holding that position to start with. Have a play around with hand positioning, neck rotation, all those little bits and pieces to make sure you get that stretch just right. And when you have, you can start to go in some flexion and extension in this position. Yeah, ease out of it. Do some lefts and rights here to do so. And then let's go into our lateral flexion. So bring one ear to one shoulder, one ear to the other. And we're just mobilizing that spine. This one always feels a little bit tighter because those muscles are a little bit weaker that control this movement. As you're doing this, I want to give you a little extra teaching point before we move into the stretch. So sometimes it can be easy just to bring the ear over to the shoulder, but try and bring that, as you do so, try and bring that chin up to the opposite side as you do so. We get a little bit more rotation in that head as you bring it over. That's going to help to do that lateral flexion. You probably feel a little bit more of a stretch as you do that as well. Yeah, let's start to introduce that stretch now. So we start with the left ear towards the left shoulder. We're going to drop that right arm down and hold that position. So you've got three options. One is just have the hand on the lap. Next option is to really drive that arm down towards the floor. And the last option is to bring the hand behind you for a slightly different stretch. So find the one that works for you. I prefer just bringing my arm down and pulling it towards the floor. Really feeling that stretch across the top of this area here, so the neck coming into the shoulders and right out towards the edge, with more of a focus in that base of the neck there. Let's ease out of it. Do some lefts and rights. And then let's do the same on the right side here. So bring that ear down towards the right side. Either hand on the lap, drop the hand down or behind you. Feel that stretch. Let's ease out of it. Going back and forth between the two. Nice and gentle. Good work. Let's go through the rest of our spine now. I'll turn to the side, but you can stay where you are. We're going to go through some flexion and extension to begin with here. Maybe short range of motion to start with, but as you get into it, might be more. So we just see going between curling over like a prawn or a shrimp, and then arching back like a high jumper, going over a pole, back and forth between the two. Nice, easy, controlled movements. Good work with this, just nice and easy, moving through, curling forwards, arching back, back and forth between the two. Good work. Let's move into our next one now, some rotation. So rotate around to one side, rotate around to the other side, and again back and forth between the two, nice controlled Easy movements. Good work. Let's go into the next one here, which is going to be down to one side and down to the other for lateral flexion. And on this, try not to lean forwards as you're doing it. I want you to try and stay almost as if you've got a pane of glass in front of your body and behind you, you're slipping down between the two. Good work. And let's finish off here with a bit of a whirlpool coming around, combining some of those movements together. Right, let's change direction. Nice. Well, let's ease out of that. And let's just do a little bit of a shake off as we do so. Good work, everybody. That time's come around quickly. We're going to move into our mindfulness part of the session now here. Let's have another drink before we do so, though, and we'll move into this. So once you've had your drink, just get yourself in a nice, comfortable position, and we'll start to go through some relaxation exercises here. So again, get yourself nice and comfortable. And when you're ready to do some nice deep breathing, going in through the nose, out through the mouth. And nice, slow, deep breathing here. Close down the eyes when you're ready to. And I just want to make a point here as well. Sometimes it's good to have good posture, or what is considered good posture, but sometimes it's good to be in a more relaxed position. And for times like this, a more relaxed position right now is much more beneficial, because we can just sort of sink into where we're sat and just sort of relax a bit. Whereas an upright position, we might not be able to fully relax. So sometimes a more relaxed, slouching posture is a better one for us. And for this bit, it's only for a short time, so it's absolutely fine. So just keep the breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax down where you are. And let's start to open up our mind's eye. And today we are going to be creating our forest scene. So we'll start by painting the picture within our mind's eye of the forest. So just with your visuals here, start to imagine what the trees are like. Imagine what the bushes on the floor are like. Imagine the colours, and maybe there's sun coming through the leaves. Whatever it is, try and just build up this image in your mind of this forest scene. It can be one that you're familiar with, a fantasy one, or some sort of amalgamation between the two. Nice deep breaths as you're doing that. Picturing this scene as best you can. Maybe there's some animals. Picturing out the textures on the branches and the trunks and the leaves. Really try and open up this scene to be more than just an imagination here. We're trying to create it real within our mind. Let's start to bring some of the sounds of the forest in there as well, whether that's the rustling of leaves through the wind, whether it's the chirping of a bird or the movement of an animal. Just sort of picture this with the visuals, with the sound together here. Let's start to bring in some temperature as well. Start to imagine what this feels like and how it's affecting you. Maybe there's some wind coming through and it's just blowing over your skin nice and gently, or maybe it's just dropped in temperature, or maybe it's even nice and warm. Whatever it may be, start to imagine what that temperature feels like. You know, this nice vivid scene within your mind. You can see the visuals, you can hear the sounds, you can feel that temperature. Now let's try and start moving ourselves through this scene. So we've probably been staying in one location, but just let's start moving through the scene, taking it all in as it changes, as it meanders, whatever it may be. And you could be walking, you can be rolling, whatever it is. Just imagine yourself there, just moving through this scene within your mind's eye. This scene that you've created for yourself. And let's start closing down that scene now. So just bringing it down bit by bit. And back to ourselves. Let's do some nice deep breathing going in through the nose. Out through the mouth. And just whilst we're in this position, a bit more relaxed, a bit more calm, just sort of start to look inwards to yourself. See how you feel in the situation. Taking yourself off to those scenes, like in the forest, or sometimes when we do the beach one. It just helps us to relax and calm ourselves, bring everything down, and offer a fantastic way to just relax in this crazy world. So use this as often or as little as you like, just to help yourself in those moments where you just need a little bit more calm over yourself. But before we open our eyes and bring ourselves back to the room, let's thank ourselves again for coming here today, for being here for the full hour, focusing on each breath, each movement that we do. That's all the key to a fantastic session together. And when you're ready to, you can start to open up your eyes. You can bring yourself back to the room as we bring today's session to a close. Thank you again for joining me, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's session.